Hello there, it's me, Sari, here again, and today I'm here with a sort of a scrap haul and show and tell of a project that I have started working on. So let's get started. I went to a place in Sweden called Trelleborg. Perhaps some people call it Trelleborg, with a different kind of pronunciation for the R's and everything. So, Gummiapan is a Swedish stamp company that also has some dies and pattern papers and such. And they had gathered together some other scrapbooking stores. So there was a sort of a small scrap fair, and with that there was place for us. Let's say I'm sure we were 140 girls and ladies and women who were there scrapping and doing our thing. So Gummiapan, if you want to look for funky stamps and such. So I think I'll just show you. I can't remember where I bought everything, but I will be able to separate the ones from Scrapbruket, which I actually got today when I got home. So I managed to get some more stuff to show you. So, but let's see. Let's start by Gummiapan. I did get some dies. Well, the reason for me getting dies, because I went there without a die in my head or my mind, or even having a need for a die. But then I saw this one. This is a small die cutting machine, and I mean it's rather small, of course, and it needs to be if you're going to take it away with you for a crafty event when you are having a lot of things to carry with you, mind you. Some people can take their big shots. I rarely take it because I find everything is going to be so heavy, because I can't decide on which dies to take with me or which dies to leave home. So everything is going to get so heavy. But this one, it's called Mini Trelleborg or something. It's Joycrafts that makes it. I believe Joycrafts is a Dutch company, and it comes with 3 plates and a shim. This is for embossing. So the cutting or the plates are marked with either base and the one for cutting, and I'm using this with the die facing the die cutting side facing towards this one. And then if I'm going to do some embossing, I'm going to shift that one for these. So there's a different way to use these. And my experience of this one so far is that it does actually do its job rather well, and it's a fun thing to take with you. And just having that in my mind, I started looking at the dies that I could actually combine with this die cutting machine, and that's where I went mad when it comes to dies. I also would like to point out that I have started working on an album, a mini album, with Polaroid pictures that I have printed with an instax printer. And you see, this is going to be rather thick a book, so I'm going to make a folder for this myself, and I would just like to show you something in it. Just look at that black and white picture there, and if I'm opening this up, you can see more of the wonderful papers from Gummiapan. I really like these graphic kinds of papers, and this is where I started realizing that I need more dies if I'm going to go ahead making this album, because I started off just making it clean and simple and wasn't really happy with it, and then I decided I need to get something similar to this. So that's why I went mad and started shopping. And I also used the leftover piece here, actually. So here are some more things. I even made a pocket just to put a tag in. And I'm keeping it rather clean and simple because I have so many pictures that I want to take care of. I'm also keeping some memorabilia so I can have some memories of this. And in this case I just decided on picking up the yellow there. I'm choosing a yellow paper because I was first thinking I would keep this in turquoise and black and white. But then when the bags came, I just thought I need to take them. And then I started choosing papers out of the colors that I see in my photos, and that's where I went with this. And let's see if there's anything else I could show you quickly. Well, I did some documenting on this trip actually. I also choose the yellow for this one because there was some mango lassi going on there with my friend Christina. So I think I'll just stop here, and I will be making a video separate for this when I have finished it and try to decorate it completely and everything. So let's see if I can make this not fall overboard. So let me continue with the dies. So you can see some of the dies that I have used on that. And Gummiapan is the company that sells these. Here are some chevron arrows, and here is that sort of a heart and an star frame, and it just cuts the frame. You also get the inner piece, of course, but you get a frame for first and foremost. I couldn't resist getting this beautiful cloud. And then we got really nice goodie bags, actually. This one came in the first goodie bag. I was there for 2 days. So these were in the first goodie bag. I bought this one because this one says Carpe Diem. And I think that is usable for almost any kind of a project. Then I got myself these because I do have the chipboard decorations since before, but I do like to be able to die cut these out of any kind of paper I want. Then I started thinking that, hey, this machine is going to take even these kinds of dies, so off I went and got myself some more dies. I also thought that I've been looking at some coffee themed cards and everything. I'm thinking I would like to make something out of this sort of an espresso mug thingy. And then I started looking at this beautiful jar, and I fell for it because it has the inner layer as well for it. And then I got myself some dies for angel stamps that Gummiapan has. I was thinking that perhaps I could make something for the Denise Angel project that I'm part of on Facebook. And then I found these border dies as well. These are from Magnolia, and I sort of like the unevenness in them. This is something that Christina, my friend, won just by going there, and she thinks she has a double of it. She just gave it to me. And here are 2 more dies, and this is the one I actually used on that photo earlier on. And I thought that I would show you how this die machine works. I'm just going to put them there. Hopefully I can fit this one in the frame. And just flip out these. It's not going to have a suction or anything. You just have those feet. And if you have a surface that is not too slippery, it's going to work well for you. So I'm just going to take this die and see where I'll end up. I do need my plates. And off you go. On. Let's see if I can even things out over here. Perhaps you want to put a pair of scissors in the way. So I'm going to need a base plate, and I'm going to need a cutting plate. I'm of that opinion that I like better being able to see where I keep my die. The one drawback of this machine is that, I mean, the opening here is 8 centimeters, but this one is 7 centimeters. So unnecessary. I mean, why not make it as wide as the opening? Because this one has a tendency to go a little bit askew. So that's something that I just can't really understand. Also, I would like some magnetic plates for these because I would really like the die to stick in its place. So I'm just going to place it there, and I'm going to make these both plates as even as I can, at the same time making sure that the die doesn't shift too much outside of the paper. And I'm just going to roll it like this. I'm just going to keep it there just for making things easier. This one is rather thick, so the dies might have a difference in thickness, it seems like. So I'm just going to take it really easy here, because I don't want to mess it up. So let's have a look see. I haven't die cut this one before, and as you can see, well, perhaps it has done a proper job, or perhaps not. So in this case I do need some washi tape, so I'm going to redo this, and I want to be able to make sure that the die is going to stay in place. So I'm just going to take some washi tape, and I'm going to tape it over the paper, and that makes it easier for me to just swift and turn. And then I could also have it in this way if I wanted to. And remember to just turn this one upside down, or just turn it around if you want to keep it as straight as possible. So I'm just going to put them in the machine again, trying to keep them straight and start rolling. And it is a much thicker die than the ones from Gummiapan, I must say. I'm just going to roll it through a couple of times, just to be on the safe side. And I'm looking at it right now, and I think that it needs a little bit more, so I'm just going to swift it there. And I'm also going to turn it over, because I'm thinking it might add some extra pressure. Here you might have a problem getting it in, but I'm going to just tuck it into my stomach and force it in with that. And I'm going to do some. Well, now it's outside. Let's see. This one might be a little bit tricky. Let's see if I lucked out better this time. Actually, yeah, let's see. I want to keep it there. So if I'm just going to do like this, you know, the funky bit, of course, could be to just leave some of the die cut pieces inside. But, of course, I could try to get the confetti out like this. Because with this method, you could get a sort of a scary Halloween look. I like this when you have the possibility of actually leaving them inside. But it does work, but you do need to take it through a couple of times. And I don't think it's the machine's fault. It's the die itself that is a little bit more intricate. I mean, there are so many points that it needs to cut at the same time. So, of course, you need to roll it through more than, let's say, a regular circle die that hasn't got any sort of fiddly bits or something like that. I'm just going to clean up the surface here, and let's see where I'll end up with this. So, here is that. And I did get myself some stamps from Dixie Craft. I mean, of late I have become quite smitten by using this kind of a stamp with, let's say, stencils and such. So I'm thinking, let's see if I can make something out of it. First off, I just saw the cogs, and then I saw that it has a shape of a cog all together. And it's a 7x7 art stencil, clarity stencils. So that's something I'm looking forward to using. And then I got myself some sort of wood veneer thingies, film strip and something with cogs. I got myself some stamps from Gummiapan. I don't know the names for these. Here is the angel I was talking about before. You haven't even mounted the stamp yet. It's a speech bubble and a small camera, and a polaroid camera as well, and I thought this one was colored so beautifully, so I just couldn't resist getting it. So now I'm going to move to something else. Bead funnel tray. I was thinking that I could use this for embossing. If I just have some embossing powder that I have too much of, I could just pour it in here, and with that one get it into the jar. Hopefully easy. This die actually came in the second day's goodie bag from Gummiapan. And Gummiapan also included some pattern papers. I'm not sure which colors we had now, but I'm just going to show you some that I fancy quite a lot. So they have a lot of color choices, but the patterns are all the same. So you have the grid, which I love. The numbers, which I think is a new, because I haven't seen it before. I love it, love it, love it, love it. So the grid and the numbers, I'm thinking, are my favorites actually. Then of course, let's see, I haven't got all the patterns, but I started screaming out loud when I saw this, because I do like the checker pattern. And then there are stripes, stars, even thinner stripes, and of course it's nice to have a solid color that you can combine it with. So that's where I'm at right now. There was a lot of things there. I need to mount this on easy mount. I did show you before, I think, the die for a small polaroid, and it cuts beautifully. I just used a small die cutting machine there. If you like to, you could do it like this, or you could just do the opposite. Perhaps you could have a white piece here. Of course, you could have a photo, of course. So let's see, is there anything else? Well, I think it's time to move on to the things that I got from Scrapbruket today. I got this border die. It's called Classic Border. It's from Marianne Design. And the package looks something like this. The die is going to be stuck like so. And there's a plastic wrapping on top, of course. So Classic Border. And first off, it got tilted, just went askew. I wasn't paying attention when I die cut it. But this one turned out really nice. So I'm thinking that you could have this, let's say if you're going to make a gatefold card or just have some decorative edge there. If you would like to, you could just have this one as a border, put a place on top. You could have this one poking out just beautifully. You could make some really nice placement cards, I'm sure. So I'm just mad about that one. I also got myself some embossing folders. This one is called Nautical and it looks like this. And there's another one, Ocean View it's called. Perhaps you can see the pattern better through this one. And I think it's giving me rather a good job. And you can also go for the embossed, debossed effect if you would like to. But this is something I would like to use. And if I would like to color this one in, I could try to just use an ink pad. Let's say an archival ink pad. Let's see if I can get it. I got myself an archival ink pad. It's called Cobalt. And just paying attention to how you have things, you might be able to color this one in without making too much of a mess. Let's see if I can show you what I mean to you. It's nice to have something underneath because it's going to... So just keep the ink pad as straight as you can. So just lay it on top and let it do its work. So you can go over the raised bits. I mean, of course it's going to color in the center a little bit, but just try to keep it as flat as you can and drag it on top. Perhaps that could be a look you're after, having something in the background as well, but having the raised bits a little bit darker than the bottom piece or the background piece. So this is just one way of coloring in those beautiful embossed papers. The drawback of, I mean, I would like to be able to color this with the embossing folder, but I can't, because the thing that is going to make sure that I'm getting those raised bits is this. And if I color this bit in, I'm going to get the color into the debossed side. So that's something I can't figure out on what to do. Of course I can make a lot of stencils or masks to put in here, in all of these diamond shapes, and then I could drag it on and just peel away all of those masks. It's too much work for me in my book. I just can't bear it. So this is a quicker way for me to do it, so it's alright, I think. And let's see if I can do the same thing here. With this one I would definitely have something in the center, just because I don't want it to be dark blue. Of course I could put something in there later, because it's always easier to add something to a circular shape. But just for me, wanting to give you the idea of what it's going to look like, the pattern that is, I just thought that I'd make it like this. So mind you, I wouldn't put this one as it is on a card. I would definitely have something there. And perhaps I would even want to make this one brown with the rope. So perhaps I could have a two-way mask for this one. Have a mask here and have a mask here. And then just ink up the brown bit. And then I could take another mask, put on the rope and keep it there and just color this one in blue, let's say, or something. So there are different ways of working at it, but in my book it's getting too tedious to put in masks in all of these open spaces. So that's it from me. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you have found some new things you can't live without. And I'll be back soon. You never know when. Neither do I. Bye bye.